All right, good morning, everybody. My name is Jen Jones. I'm the VP of Career Development, and I'm super excited that we are hosting another Accelerate Alumni success story today. I'm going to introduce Melissa. Melissa McCoy is our Director of Career Development for our Reading Berks Accelerate Center, and she has had the pleasure of working with Julia and guiding Julia as she got her career up and running. So I'm going to go ahead and let Melissa introduce Julia and have Julia go ahead and get started.
Good morning, everybody. Like Jen said, my name is Melissa McCoy. I'm the Director of Career Development here in the Reading Berks office. I also handle Schuylkill Haven. And because of our location, right now I have an agent who works out of Lebanon, lives in Schuylkill, but can sell in all three counties. So I'm, trying to learn three markets. But I had the pleasure of I've been doing Accelerate for about a year as the trainer, and one of my first training classes, I had Julia. She has embraced all of the training, embraced all of the things that we go through during the Accelerate training program, and has been very successful. I'm going to let her start off because she doesn't need a lot more introduction than that. She's going to give you a little bit of information about herself and what she has done in the past, not even a year. And feel free to use the chat box to ask any questions. And I'm just going to turn it over to Julia.
Hey everybody, my name is Julia Curry. I grew up in Montgomery County, and then as an adult, I've moved all over the country. I was an Army wife, so we lived in a lot of places. My most recent job, I was the operations manager for a commercial industrial construction company. So I handled all of their HR, their marketing, sales, branding, day-to-day operations. Before that, I was a Department of Homeland Security communications director. A legal secretary, all kinds of stuff. So my background's kind of all over the place. I got my license this past March, so we're coming up on a year. I kind of got sick of not being my own boss. So I decided that with my background, real estate would be a perfect fit, and here I am. So I guess I'm gonna start with social media because that's where I get a lot of questions. My social media, so my Instagram username is Julia Curry Realtor, and my Facebook is also Julia Curry Realtor. For me in the very beginning, it was really important to determine my brand and what I wanted to put out there as who I am, how am I going to market myself. So for myself, I wanted to be not too serious. I wanted to be real, keep it fun, down to earth and relatable. And it's really worked well for me. So I've stuck with that through all my Facebook posts, my Instagram posts, on my home sale website profile. Actually, a fun story is I had a client find me on the home sale website, scrolling through all of the agents, and decided that she wanted to work with me because I seemed the most relatable to her. So she sent me an inquiry on a Wednesday night. I immediately called her. I had her pre-approved by Thursday morning, and by that Sunday she was under contract, and it was 34 days from beginning to end that she reached out to me from finding me on the website till she closed on her first home. And honestly, I asked her, I'm like, how did you find me? What are you doing? Where can I put more money for my marketing? She's like, oh, I just saw you on the home sale website and thought you looked like someone I would work with. I'm like, okay, I don't really know what that means, but okay. So we really connected. So that's kind of where I've stuck with, just kind of keeping my brand consistent to who I am and what I want to put out there for other people.
Why don't you talk about Instagram versus Facebook?
So for me, Instagram's more fun. Instagram's more photos and graphics and things like that. Where Facebook, I post everything from my Instagram onto Facebook, but then Facebook, I also will do articles, links to websites, things like that. It's more user-friendly instead of for Instagram having to do link in my bio or things like that. I think that Facebook is more informational And a lot of my mom's friends and like an older market are on Facebook.
Old like me.
Well, okay. The older clientele are more based on Facebook. Like my grandmother, my aunts, my uncles, all of that are like the Facebook generation, where my friends, people that are in my generation are more on Instagram because they find the content more interesting. So for Instagram, I've found that when you put photos in your feed, you really don't get as much feedback. It kind of gets lost amongst everybody else. So the way to really gain traction is to use Instagram stories. So whether you post it on your feed and then share it to your Instagram stories, either way, Instagram stories is really where you're going to get a lot of traction. Facebook stories, I haven't really done much with, but yeah.
Julia, tell them why. Tell them why you feel like the stories have gotten you more traction, or where you've seen the difference. Is it because of the messaging?
I think it's more the video. So the video is one, and two, they're short. They're less than 30 seconds a piece, and it's, when I log on to Instagram, I'm not going through my feed. I'm looking at stories. So it's the first thing that people see when they log in. So if you want, you can scroll through and you can do all this, but the stories are more interactive. So I've learned that for me, the traction is more Instagram stories than anything else. So.
And then with your website, do you think that some of it had to do with the fact that you took the time to personalize your bio and get reviews on there, and you've really put an effort into beefing that up versus just kind of the standard stuff that it comes with?
Yeah, I've really when I started, I really took the time to make sure that it was who I am. I spent a lot of time writing my bio, getting the reviews, linking it to my website, linking it to my social media. I really put time into making it personalized to me so it kind of stand out from everybody else. It kind of has the cookie cutter. I know that you can do like a basic bio through home sale. They give you like a template and stuff, and I tried to stay away from that. I know, and it's really great, don't get me wrong, but I kind of wanted to be able to stand out a little bit and make it more myself than anything else.
Yep.
So.
That's for people that don't want to take that extra step.
Yeah, but that extra step got me a sale.
Yep.
So it's worth taking the extra time to do it.
And guys, I did put in the chat box, I put her Instagram handle, I put the link to her Facebook page, I put the link to her website on there, so you guys have it and can check it out at some point. And then Melissa, it's just a little bit hard to hear you when you're talking, but okay. Julia's like loud and clear. It's just
okay. When I ask her questions, I'll lean.
There, you're good. Okay.
It's not very often people tell me I'm not loud enough.
I know.
Julia, talk a little bit about how important you think consistency is.
Consistency was getting me consistent should have been. So I set a goal for myself that I need to be more consistent on posting. When you stop posting, you stop showing up in news feeds. And it's kind of like posting once a month. I don't want to say it's pointless because you're still putting something out there, but you're not going to gain the traction. You're not going to get the following that you would normally see. No one's going to see your stuff. I will say that it doesn't matter how many people like your page. It doesn't matter how many likes you get or how many comments you get. It doesn't matter. The only thing that really matters is the impressions. So I can show you if you want. Let me pull it up so that I can show you where you can see your impressions. That's all that really matters. So
wait, can you see she switched?
Yep, she's good.
Okay.
Of course it's but typically it's probably on here. So right here, so like on each one of your posts, it'll be the people reached a number of engagements. This is 20 Facebook followers.
Hey, Julia.
is pretty important. So
Hey, Julia, you froze. I know you froze for me. I don't know if you froze for everybody else too, but you froze when you pulled up the post.
I try not to do every day just because I don't want to bog down people's news feed with me. But I think like once, twice a week, and then Instagram stories a couple days a week, I kind of have gained a lot of traction with that.
Hey, Julia, when you pulled up that post, it froze. We saw the post and we could see the reach, but we missed what you were saying with talking us
Okay.
through like why the reach was important and then what your schedule looked like.
You want us to share it again?
Should
Or
I
no, just
talk?
talk about
Yeah.
just talk about what you just
The impression.
said.
Okay.
Yep.
So it doesn't matter how many people actually like your business pages. So my reach on that was 108 people. At the time, I think I only had 120 people that liked my Facebook page. But so the consistency of my posts, that made it to 108 different people. So it doesn't matter how many comments you get or likes you get or anything like that. Really what matters is your consistency and how many people you're reaching. And that's what's important to me. I can have 120 people like my page, but those 120 people are the ones that are referring me to other clients, that are, sharing my posts. They're my core sphere that I want to focus on. So that's where I'm at with that.
Do you plan and like have a schedule and schedule it out? I know you can do that on Instagram. Do you do that or not so much since you're using the stories more than the posts?
So for stories, I kind of get on there during the day. So I don't really have content planned for that. I'll come up with some ideas and I'll keep a note on my phone just to kind of remember, hey, I wanted to talk about this, or this was a good idea. For Facebook, if I know that I'm traveling or that I'm going to be really busy, I will make it a point to schedule a few posts for that week so they come up on their own. If you don't want to do it, Delta does it for you, which is really cool. They'll post articles. Just make sure that you read them because sometimes they won't be relevant to your clients. I personally don't use Delta, but that's just because I've really niched down on my brand and I really want to make sure what I'm putting out there is consistent with the message that I want my clients to see. So,
and then Julia, for your stories, like what kind of content are you doing in your stories? Is it like selfie videos, photos, a mix? Like what are they? What are you talking about? Like talk us through some of that.
So people really like to see what you're doing. So, and that sounds really cliche, but people like to see, hey, what is she doing today? What does a realtor do? So this morning, I think I posted about just how I was doing this video and how I have a closing this afternoon. Wishing everybody a happy new year. Sometimes I'll just post like pictures, or if I have an open house that I'm at, I'll take a video of myself in the house, or I'll take a quick video tour on my stories. There's a couple good people on Instagram that I do follow. One is a realtor in Virginia, and if you give me 1 second, I can tell you what it is. She always has really great content, and I get a lot of ideas from her, but she isn't in my market, so I don't feel guilty doing it.
And that, by the way, is something that I highly, highly encourage all of you to do, is find a couple people that are doing well with Instagram, and as Julia is going through today, put a couple of the ones that I have on my list in the chat box for you guys too. But I've had managers ask me like, hey, can we have somebody that does great with Instagram come in and talk about it? And I'm like, okay, well, we can get maybe an hour out of that. But the biggest thing that I feel like moves the needle with you guys going, okay, here's what I can try, here's what I can improve on, is really following somebody so that you can get a feel for what they're doing and what it looks like and figure out if it will work for you or if it won't. So as Julia is kind of talking through that, think about what aligns with you or your brand. Some of it will, some of it might not, but try it.
Yeah. A lot of agents, especially larger markets, they have really great Instagram followings too. So I feel like the markets for like the city, like Philadelphia, DC, and Baltimore, they have a lot of really busy agents. So I get a lot of ideas and a lot of content ideas from them as well. So I kind of collaborate with that. And actually some of them follow me back and they use my ideas. So if they're not in your market, it's okay. You don't mind. But at the same time, it doesn't matter. So, so for my content, I do create a lot of my content. Instagram, 1 or 2 stories a day. Facebook, I share everything from Instagram to Facebook, mainly because most of the followers that I have on both pages are different, so they don't follow me on both. So when you're posting on Instagram, a couple things that I've kind of taught myself along the way is it's really important to tag your location when you're putting up a post. So that location, not only will it come up on your feed, but since you're in a public, it'll put you more out there for your location. So I have one that's Julia Curry Realtor and it's based at our office. Sometimes I'll do like the Berkshire Mall, different like popular locations. It doesn't matter if you're there or not, but it's going to put your image out there. It's going to put your face out there more because you're going to be in the community and you're going to be linked to that location. Hashtags are a devil. So they're good and they're bad. So I like them because they link all of your content to yourself. So if you put a hashtag on something and then you click on that hashtag, well, you're going to see your image and other people are going to see that image as well. Instagram has a maximum of 30 that you can use. I came up with my 30 in the beginning and I've kind of stuck with it. A good way to do it would be to, I have a note on my phone, so I can copy and paste off of it and put it into my comments. Another thing is that I did too, another agent taught me, was if you do a smart key, so if you have an iPhone, so now if I just hit hashtag on my phone, it'll populate all of my hashtags for my posts and I won't have to type them every time. I won't have to copy and paste. It just saves a lot of time. The best way for doing hashtags on Instagram is to put them in your comments. So you can put it in like the post caption, but it kind of weighs it down. It makes it look big and bulky and kind of, I don't want to say archaic, but it's just not, it's not the same. So if you hide it within your comments, it'll still be linked to your photo, but it won't look so
spammy.
Yeah, spammy, tacky, kind of, you know, put it underneath. No one will see it. It'll look like a comment and it'll still have the impact that you want it to have. Again, likes and comments don't matter. It's more about how many impressions that you have. So,
yeah, I do have a stat that kind of goes with that. Posts with a location, by the way, get 79% more engagements.
Mm-hmm.
So it definitely makes a difference.
If you don't have them on there now, you can actually go back and add a location to every one of your posts if you're that dedicated. if you really want to do it right, go back and take care of it. So, but that's, even moving forward, that's just kind of, I do a lot of, so I live in a small farm town, Ole. The Ole athletic field is really popular and always has a lot of Instagram content there. So I've tagged a couple of my posts at the Ole athletic field, or if I know that there's an event coming up, like I'll tag it in that location. And that's way, if someone's there and they're like scrolling through and they're like, oh, hey, what else is going on here? They'll just see my thing. It's a free way of advertising. So I guess I could talk about my frozen Jeep picture. So this is kind of yeah. Okay, so this was really kind of funny the way that it happened, and it's kind of, so this right here, it was 8 o'clock on a Saturday morning, and I posted frosty windows are back because I was not prepared for it. I went outside, I was like, okay, well, here's a perfect time to post a picture. It was just saying, you know, there are buyers that want to be in a home for the holidays. Who else is interested? There's still time. Reach out to me today. I didn't think this would go anywhere. I got no comments, but I reached 108 people, whatever. 7:30 that night, I had a friend send me a text and she said, hey, I'm at work right now at the hospital and I have a friend here who needs to buy a house. She needs to be in it before Christmas. Can you help her out? I said, sure, no problem. Have her text me. I didn't expect anything of it. Not 5 minutes later, she texted me. By 8 o'clock, we had her pre-approved, all through text messages and a single phone call. The first time that I met her was when we went to do showings. We did one day, 6 showings, and she went under contract. So 1 week from the day that I posted this frosty Jeep photo that I expected to go nowhere, we went under contract and we actually closed today. So she's been in the house since before Christmas, but we closed today. Long story. But it's been a good one.
But for a picture that only had 13 likes
and 22 engagements, it's a deal. So, you know, when you don't, I got really discouraged too. I was kind of down about it, but I was like, no, I'm just going to keep going. I didn't have much going on. I posted this and I got a deal out of it. So it goes to show that it actually works.
Yep. I think with everything you guys are doing with social media, it's like Julia said, like, don't focus on the likes and necessarily focus on the comments. It's great to have those because those typically increase everything else because more people see it if other people are commenting on it, but don't get hyper focused on it. Continue to remember that everything is about timing. It's somebody is on Facebook or Instagram scrolling and they happen to be thinking about real estate and they see your post and then you're top of mind. It's the same when you're doing mailers. If you mail one thing and that's all you do, you're not going to be top of mind when it's the right time for them. So it's all about timing. That's why everything you guys are doing with mailers and with your phone calls and your texts and your messaging and your social media posts all have to continue to be in layers so that it's continuing to revolve and it's a reoccurring schedule so that when all of a sudden they go, oh, now's a good time for me to maybe buy a house or sell a house, that you're continuing to be in front of them. So I love that Julia kind of said, like, don't focus on that. Focus more on the reach, maybe focus on the engagement, but keep going because at some point it's going to make a connection. It's going to be what spurs somebody to pick up the phone.
Yeah.
Why don't you, Julia, why don't you show them Canva, which is where you make a lot of your content?
Yes. Okay. Canva, I call it the Holy Grail because it is absolutely amazing. I create all of my, I'll show you my Instagram page. So all of my content. So there's Melissa and I, Salvation Army. So we've got Merry Christmas, you know, Wreaths Across America. All of this content has been created on Canva. So what it is a free design site. You just click in, say you want to create a Facebook post, Happy New Year. So you go in, it's super easy to use. You can have it set up so that it has the Berkshire Hathaway colors set in. So there's a social media post. Dear friends, Happy New Year. Thank you for an incredible 2019. Cheers to a great 2020. And there's content that literally took less than 30 seconds. So if you are struggling with it, Canva has a lot of really great designs. You can do like overlays for, you know, if you have something that just sold. I've done some for other agents. So I don't have any of mine right here, but for one agent in our office, you did this. You can take your headshot, you can put it all in there, you know, and it's good to go. It can go on social media, it can go Facebook, Instagram, whatever you want it to do. They have an option that you can have it sent directly to a printer and they'll mail it to you. So if you wanted to do mailers, things like that, it's really cool. So you can do videos and overlays on videos. So there's a lot there. So that's what we have. So
Julia, how did you get it to have the colors in and the branding in?
There is a way that I can go back. So Berkshire Hathaway, in our marketing guide that we get, it has the color codes.
Yep. Binder.
So for here, let me just open it up. It'll be right here. So what you'll do is you'll click on the background, you'll select, and you'll go to your brand colors. And in settings, you can pick each one of these, or you can type it up here.
So you can just type in the color code.
The color code right there. So I just have the 3. and use that. So it's pretty simple. The only thing is they don't really have the Berkshire Hathaway font that you have to use. So you kind of have to wing it with that. But if you wanted to do like the logos off of the home sales center with the clear backgrounds, I actually have those here so that if you want to add them in, you can put this. Let me just make this clear real quick. So you could put like the Berkshire Hathaway over something. So you can change sizes, you can make it whatever you want it to be, but Canva is really cool. I taught myself how to use it. If you're computer savvy, it won't be hard to do. If you're kind of techie, it's just a lot of trial and error, but it's a really cool program to use. So, yeah. That's Canva.
Any questions on Canva?
Julia, did you remember who that real estate agent you were following on Instagram was?
Yes, her name's Karen Jane, Keran Jane, Jayne. And her page is, I'll type it in the chat because it's kind of long. Love life in Loudon. She's in Loudon, Virginia, which is just outside of DC.
Thank you.
So, yeah, she has a lot of really great content, so I highly recommend following her.
Okay, any other social media related questions before she kind of jumps into like what she's doing with mailings, note cards, and some other marketing? You guys can type in the chat box. You can unmute yourself if you're logged in, or if you're sitting in like a watch party in your training room, let your director of career development know if you have any questions and they can do the same thing.
Do you pay for any advertising on Instagram or Facebook?
For Facebook, I do. So I like doing, if I have like a recent sale, or, you know, just, I think I did one where, you know, it's not too late to get into a home before the holidays, something like that. I tend not to do it for my open houses just because I normally do those by myself. And for a safety standpoint, I don't want to throw out there to 10,000 people that I'm going to be alone in a house for 3 hours. So, but for the most part, I've probably spent less than $100 total. It's something that I actually have a goal for myself for 2020. But for right now, I more just stick to my content the way that I have it. So
yeah, because I didn't spend much, like $15 on a Facebook ad, but I noticed that I was almost reaching as many people on my daily posts than in the week that ran. I think it ran for a week and I reached like 900 people, but with some of the videos and content that I'm posting, I'm able to reach 200 or 300 people in just a couple of days. So I didn't really know how much it was, you know, really paying off. But 800 people is still 800 people.
It's still 800 people, but if you can do it yourself for free, I'm definitely thrifty when it comes to stuff like that. So especially if you can like post a video and have like a good friend share it, then you're reaching twice as many people. So that's something that I do quite often.
I think the more you can have people share your content, you can tag them in it, then, you know, they're involved in it, all their connections kind of see it. The one thing I noticed about the example Julia gave is there was a call to action. So I will say, I feel like that's very important. If you're doing any kind of Facebook ad, it shouldn't just be like a graphic. It should be something that is more of a call to action. Because you want to generate from that. You don't want it just to be seen necessarily unless you're focusing on branding. If you're focusing on branding, you want a high reach. If you're focusing on, hey, I want you to click and message me, I want you to call me, like make sure you have a very specific call to action attached to it.
Yeah. A lot of times too, for a Facebook post, you can do there's an option where you can do like send a message. Attached to your post. So you can set up a post and do send a message now. So I always try to throw that on there. Sometimes I forget, but that's at least a call to action so someone can do it that way too. So
yep. And then Anne Marie asked, how do you address any friends that might be opposed to sharing your content because they don't want to feel like they're blasting their own friends? Have you had anybody that's been willing to share content, and what was that conversation like?
I do. A lot of my friends and I are just kind of candid, so we support each other in our businesses. So I don't have them do it all the time. My aunt has a ton of friends, so she's always doing it, but that's because she's doesn't have much going on, so she thinks it's fun. But for the most part, a lot of my friends, they don't mind. They support my business. I'm not asking them every week. I'm not asking them every day. Just like, maybe once a month or so, just have someone share it. So.
Yep. And try a contest. I know Tom's on here, so maybe Tom will chime in. But Tom in Baltimore had an agent, Teresa Esworthy, that she first kind of got all of her stuff up and running, and she wanted to gain some traction. So she did a contest. She posted some kind of graphic letting people know that she was in real estate and how she could help people. And it was basically like, if you like my post, share my post, and then comment that you did it, I'm going to enter you into a drawing. And then, a couple of days later, I think she was going to do a Facebook Live announcing the winner to the contest. You do have to have like a little disclaimer if you're doing it. I'll get that to you guys if you want it so that you can do it. But it could be like a, $25 gift card or something. And if you do it maybe once a year or just kind of do a big contest, that might be a way to do it too, and just kind of, and mix it up versus always asking. You could try something like that too. But if it's definitely, I would say, if you're selling their house, that's a great time to ask them. They're going to be more than happy to share it if it's something that is relevant to them. If it's somebody that has their own local business, it's kind of like, hey, you help them, they help you. So find somebody that you're connected to that does their own business, promote their business, they'll promote yours too.
Yeah. Yep. If there's nothing else on social media, I can kind of go into like mailers and what I do for that.
Go for it.
So note cards. So I send, there's a really cool website that Melissa actually told me about. It's called Note Card Cafe. Literally you buy cards for 25 cents a piece. So I brought a couple with me to show you. You pay shipping, so it's one shipping fee per order, but you can order a la carte cards. So if I want like 4 of one and 2 of another, no problem. So there's one, it's just like for real estate about a key to the new home. This is for some of my clients that bought a house. It's like happy anniversary, 1 year in your new home. I was thinking for 25 cents, they were going to be kind of cheap and feel gross, and they're actually really nice. This one's like, my goal is to be the best thing to ever happen to my clients. And this is just like, welcome home. So I actually did it because I wanted Thanksgiving cards, and it was the only place that I could find them. You can get them made with like a pre-printed message on the inside, and they come with like cute colored envelopes. You can pick your colors. I think I ordered like 4 of one card, 3 of another. You don't really have to order a ton.
Yeah, it's nice because there's no minimums, so you can pick a la carte and choose 3 of this, 10 of that, 30 of something else. So depending on your plans and what you want to send them to, you can kind of tailor what you want. Is that where you ordered your Veterans Day cards?
I had my Veterans Day cards. I actually used them all. I didn't bring them with me. But so they also come, so with the envelopes, I got sick of writing my return address, and this is going to sound really stupid, but I got really sick of writing it all the time. So I got a stamp on Etsy for $11 with my address on it, and I just throw it on there. It's made it, my hand takes a lot less time than writing everything 1,000 times. So I send cards for holidays. I send cards for birthdays, Veterans Day, things like that. For birthdays, I will look on Facebook. So today's January 1st. So I'll go, 2nd, sorry. So I'll go from now until the beginning of February, and I'll do a month at a time. And I'll just put a card in there that says, I hope you have a wonderful day. Enjoy your birthday. I don't put a business card in there. I only send them to people that I know that I'm close with. I'm not going to send it to some person that followed me on Facebook that I don't know who they are. I don't put my business card in there because I feel like if I'm sending you a birthday card, you know that I'm a realtor. This is me just sending this to you. So
yep. It feels more genuine.
Yeah. One woman that I had sent it to, I've known her for years. Her daughter and my son go to elementary school together. And her husband has worked out of town for a while and had started a new job, and he completely forgot that it was her birthday. So
Julia remembered.
Yeah, I remembered, and I sent her a card, and she has thanked me on 4 different occasions and said, you don't understand how much that meant to me. So, you know, she's got investment properties that she's going to be selling soon, and I hope that I'll be the one that she calls. But if not, you know what? I made someone feel good on their birthday. So it's all that matters. For Veterans Day cards, so like I said, I was an Army wife. We lived in Washington State for a while. So a lot of my sphere live out of the area, but they're also veterans. So I send a card, it'll just say, Dear so-and-so, this year I'm forever grateful for the service and sacrifice you made to ensure the freedoms I enjoy daily. Thank you for your service. I appreciate you. And for that, I don't put my business card because I'm thanking them for their service. It's not to promote myself. It's just to thank them for their service. Next year, there's a charity called Wreaths Across America, and they lay the wreaths in Arlington and all the national cemeteries. And you can buy a wreath in honor of someone. So next year with my Veterans Day cards, I'll be doing that. So it's a nice way to thank them. I got a lot of messages. So I'll send Christmas cards and Thanksgiving cards, but the Veterans Day cards, they all called me and they said, thank you for your card. It really meant a lot. So I highly recommend doing that one.
And even though they're not local,
mm-hmm.
they may need a referral, you know what I mean? So
one of them I did get the referral from. Right. So it's a nice way to say thank you, and they all know that I'm a realtor. So I also did the same for Christmas cards. I bought them at Sam's Club. I mailed them to like 70 people. Everybody said thank you. I did football mailers with the calendar. So you can get these relatively cheap on, it's called Magnet Street. So this was a good one. I think these cost me like $30 for 100 of them. And I sent them out. And then there's one other that I don't have with me, but just sending out like Thanksgiving cards. So to keep track of who I'm sending it to, I actually have a mailer list. So it's an Excel spreadsheet. And this is like a master list of everybody I send things to. So every year when I go to do the Eagles, these are all of the Eagles fans that I have on my sphere. And then I have my Thanksgiving list, my Christmas card list, and then my complete sphere. And so then I'll just like keep going through and adding to it. And then I also have one that's for like clients that bought a house, so I keep track of the anniversary. So when they get to their 1-year anniversary in a home, I'll be able to send them a card. So
awesome. I love that you have the separate sheets, so it makes it really easy to, okay, I'm getting my Eagles mailer ready. I can easily print labels versus having to, you know, you organize it once versus having to every single time figure out, okay, who does it go to? Who do I send this thing to? So I love that it's organized by the audience of what you're putting together and sending.
Yep. And then the way it's set up too is it's a CSV. So that means that you can just put it directly onto a label and print them out and slap them on envelopes. And you don't have to handwrite everything, which makes it a lot easier. So it's a couple clicks and I'm good to go. So efficient time usage. So I do send cards. So open houses, if I meet someone at an open house, I'll contact them 3 times. If I don't hear back from them, I move on, because I don't want to be the agent that pesters them until they want to scream. So for the open houses, I'll send a card, and I do include my business card with this one. And I have written down here what I say. I just said, "Dear so-and-so, it was wonderful meeting you on Sunday at the Grande New Construction Open House. I would love to discuss more of your real estate needs. Give me a call and let's talk about options and what real estate moves are best for you. I hope you have a great day." If we made more of a connection, I'll throw in something more personal. I'll say, you know, "I hope you enjoyed your vacation," or something like that. So then I'll send the card, and about 4 days later, I'll follow up with a phone call and then a text message. Sometimes I'll send a video in a text, which is something I learned in Buffini. Instead of,
And from us.
yes, and from you. And from you. But I do just say, "Hey, it's Julia. It was great meeting you at the open house. You know, I'd love to help you with your real estate needs. Feel free to give me a call." So, and if I don't hear anything from them, then I move on. You know, I may send them one more card later on, or if there's a holiday coming up, but I don't want to be the person that overwhelms someone just for a deal. So,
Julia, are you handwriting these?
yes.
And the ones that you were talking about earlier that you get from Note Card Cafe, like I know you said sometimes they can come with pre-messages. Like, are you handwriting in them too?
I'm handwriting in those too. You can get them made with a custom greeting to yourself, but I like the personal feel of handwriting a card.
Yep. Jackie's nodding her head going, "Preach it, girl."
Yeah. It can make your hand a little tired. Space it out, but it.
Okay. And the only other comment I have, and you're all going to roll your eyes at me and I don't care. So 95, this is my favorite stat, and you've probably heard it many times from me. 95% of online leads are abandoned within 4 days. However, 60% of those leads end up purchasing a home in 12 months. So I love that you are doing the cards 3 times. My only advice for all of you is to keep going. If you,
I knew she was going to pick up on that.
I cannot let that go. I can't. If you feel like you are pestering, space it out more. So like you do the open house, you follow up right away, you follow up again, maybe that week or the next week, and then you follow up one more time. Go to 2 weeks, and then go to 3 weeks, and then go to 4 weeks. Even if you space it out more, you're still keeping in touch, because sometimes it does take them a year. And like Julia is saying, she doesn't want to call them every week and bug them every week. So my advice to you guys, instead of feeling that, is to space it out. Get to the point where it's once a month or once every 2 months or even once a quarter, but keep doing something, because at some point they will come back full circle. So that will be my only objection.
I've done a lot of open houses, so it's been a lot of fun.
Well, the open houses are next kind of on our list to talk about.
So jump into those.
So open houses. I have never said no to an open house if I'm available. So it's only 2 to 3 hours out of a day for active buyers that are coming to see you. They're taking the time out of their schedule to come and see where you're at. I counted them up, and it's kind of embarrassing. Since March, so I actually didn't start doing open houses until May. Since May, I've done 47 open houses. So I spent a lot of time meeting new people. One way that I've got set up with open houses where I send out emails to the office seeing if anyone has any resale open houses that they'd like me to host. If they have a listing that's not getting much traction, or if they're having a price reduction, just something that they need hosted, I'll do that. Our office is connected with a builder, so I do a lot of new construction open houses. Even other agents in our office, including like our staff. Our office manager actually gave my name to an agent from another office who needed someone to host an open in our market, and she knew that I never say no to an open house. So the other agent and I have actually connected, and we became good friends, and I've hosted 4 different open houses for her in both of our markets, because she doesn't like to do a dual agency. So she has me host them all the time. So it's really great.
Someone from the Ephrata office. So our markets are close enough that made sense. The The agent started because she had a listing the whole way up here in Berks County and didn't want to do the open house and was looking for somebody, and Julia jumped in, and so has made a really good connection with somebody else outside of our office, which is great.
Yep. And do that with each other, guys. Like, you're going through Accelerate together. You're in these weekly huddles with each other every single week. And a lot of times in different offices, create those relationships with each other. And it creates those opportunities. I mean, there could be a listing that, hey, it's a little bit outside of your typical area, and maybe you co-list it, or maybe you do deals together, maybe you cover for each other, maybe you even tag team and you do open houses together for safety reasons, and you create a deal with how you're going to split the leads that walk in the door. So you have these people who are in the same place you are, where they're full speed ahead trying to get up and running. Leverage that and work with each other, and you're going to create opportunities like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. When I do an open house, so marketing them, I'll make a post on Canva for social media, and I'll post it between Wednesday and Friday, advertising the open houses that are coming up. I'll do an Instagram story. I'll obviously post it on Facebook. For safety reasons, I don't boost it on Facebook, but that's only because I'm normally doing them alone. I think I've done one open house where I've done it with another agent. So for safety, I personally don't boost. Yeah, and I personally don't boost them. So the day of, I'll do a video advertising the property where I am in a quick description, and I'll put it on my Instagram stories. I'll share it to Facebook. And then I will print flyers with my name on them. So if it's someone else's listing, they are fine. So I will just print my branding for the listing and do that.
What are you using to do your flyers?
Delta and Bright. So Home Sale Center. And so I really prefer the one on Delta. It's a little bit more user friendly. Bright's isn't the best. So yeah.
And then you follow up with the open house thank you cards.
Yep. After the open house, follow up, and I'll put them in my CRM. If it's someone that I really made a connection with that, I really feel like would use me in the future, I have quite a few people that I send like regular mailers to. I'll do like an item of value. So with Buffini, like we'll get like item of value, I'll throw something like that in there. Following up with people from open houses are the ones that that I really had a connection with. If I've had a couple where I've had people come through and they're like, this house is not well maintained, and they were just really, really mean, horrible people. Like they're not my people. That's not the type of clients that I want. So even though I'm new, I'm kind of like a little selective when it comes to like the nasty people that you can meet in an open house.
Yep. And that I will say is part of the reason when we were working on that open house connector sign-in app, that was feedback I had gotten from some of the Harrisburg agents that are they're in like a mastermind group. But some of the feedback they had said, they're like, Jen, there are people that walk in the door and we don't even want them to get a thank you. Like, we never want to see them again. We never want to talk to them again. Or we do enough to refer them to somebody else. Like, we will hold on to them and go, oh, maybe this person is a better match for you. And hopefully it's not a friend who doesn't want them either. But it kind of still creates that opportunity, and don't do that to a friend. But personalities are different matches. I mean, I've definitely had friends over the years that, although I feel like, hey, this person's good with this realtor, like this person's better with this one. Like, it's a personality fit. It's it's the connection. I have somebody who was a Marine. He's got a little PTSD. I made sure the realtor he's working with was a Marine. Like, it's something that they could connect with and relate to. So sometimes it's that. Sometimes they walk into your open house and you feel that way, but sometimes it's also just like, hey, I'm not going to be able to connect with this person, but I really know somebody else who can. So it's that opportunity. But yeah, they don't all have to go into your CRM and your follow-up plan. Jaden, who is in Jackie's group, wants some details on like, who do you send the mailers to? Who do you send flyers to? Like, in that spreadsheet that you have, who gets what, and how do you organize that so you don't forget people?
So I have it set up so that my sphere of influence are like my future clients, people that I know that are friends, family that'll be referring me.
So it kind of ties into the next topic, which is Buffini.
Yeah.
Because Buffini wants you to focus not on 500 people that you've met, but on the 50 people that are going to refer you.
Yeah.
So I think that's what you whittled your CRM down to.
I've really, so they call it like niching down. You really want to just focus on the people. They like, Buffini grades them. So like an A+ is like, you can have 5 people that are your A+. They will refer you every time. They will tell everybody how great you are. You know, these are the people that'll come to you time and time again. Your A's are people that have used you in the past. They're acquaintances, they're friends, and that they'll probably use you. B's are, they might use you, but you're not really sure. And C's are just kind of people that are out there, that, you know, they know that you're a realtor, but they, you know, is kind of up in the air. So I focus on my A's and my A+, and I think I've whittled it down to about 60 people. So they're the ones that'll get my Christmas cards. They're the ones that'll get like my Eagles mailers if they're friends, or if they're fans of the Eagles. You don't want to send them to the Steelers fan. I learned that the hard way this year. And then so
you need a group for those people. You need a separate group.
Yeah. I know it's unfortunate that you have to order them in bulks of 25, because otherwise, like, I would probably do both. But even for like, so I try to make sure that I'm mailing something once a month or making contact once a month. So Buffini's big on the pop buys. So whether I'll do a pop buy with them, or I'll do a Christmas card or a Thanksgiving card, or, you know, I'll do like an item of value mailer. It's just narrowing it down to, you don't want to waste your money on postage and printing and all of that if they're not going to use you later on. Buffini's big on what he calls the mayor speech, the mayor campaign, which is, hey, by the way, do you or someone you know, are you looking for a realtor? Or say, hey, by the way, I am a realtor, would you recommend me? It's having the awkward conversation of asking someone, would you recommend me as your realtor? Or recommend me to someone you know. And that's how you really know who, you know, like your core people are. You can kind of make a joke about it when you do it, so you're not like in their face, but that's
So Julia, I love that idea, and I'm going to put Jackie on the spot. Jackie did a post recently, and I think she got that from Buffini too. It was like that conversation, but it was a Facebook post, and I loved it because she got a ton of comments on it, and I don't remember what it was, so maybe she can chime in. Jackie!
There she is.
I don't remember the wording that she used, but I saw it, and I just saw all these comments like, you're so caring, and it was just all these qualities of like why I would use you as my realtor or tell my friends to use you. And that, I feel like, could kind of be, you have the conversation with people, you do that, and the people that comment, like, that kind of creates that group for you too. So go ahead, Jackie, share that. Here, I can try to unmute you. Hold on.
Thank you.
There you go. Sorry, that was my fault.
So the comment was something to the effect of, how would you describe me to your friends and family if you were going to use me for real estate, you know, or something of that sort. And it just took off. It was really great. It came from a podcast from Brian Buffini. I love Brian Buffini. I love listening to podcasts. I don't think I listen to any music anymore in the car. So it's really important that you take the time to like get onto that podcast and start listening to them all. They're amazing. And I'll share some on some Facebook Accelerate pages so you can see what I've been listening to recently. So maybe what I'll do is, yeah, that might be a good idea.
I just wrote that one down to use that for sure.
Yeah, definitely. The podcasts have been nothing but like completely changing for me. I keep a notepad in the car now where if I hear something like incredible, I'll like, you know, and write it down.
I hope you're stopping first.
Well, sometimes, yeah. Don't take it from me because I'm not really the best at, following the list.
Awesome.
Don't tell your husband, Jen.
I got you. Or bail you
cool.
out.
All right, good.
Thanks, Jackie.
Okay, no problem.
And Anne Marie commented and said she did the same post and she had a ton of A+ people comment, and it was awesome. And one, it kind of gave her, I think Anne-Marie's kind of saying, hey, it even gave her like an emotional boost of like, wow, I'm really helping people and it's really making a difference. So I think you kind of get that out of it too, which is nice.
Yeah. Buffini was really good. Some of it didn't really relate to what I was doing, but a lot of it did. So it's just kind of like taking bits and pieces from everything and making it work for you. From the Popeyes for Buffini, August I did fresh peaches. September, October I did mums. And this past December I did a box of homemade cookies in like a bakery box. And then for clients that bought at home this year, I put a Christmas ornament that had said Christmas in our first home, and it was like a key. It was really cute. So just putting that out there too. So
Julia, are you using drip email like I'm assuming you're using the referral maker CRM because you're doing all the Buffini stuff?
I actually use Top Producer.
Oh, okay.
So I have been doing drip emails, though I've kind of stopped because I wasn't getting as many people opening them. So I felt like it was kind of more spamming them than anything else. So that's kind of why I feel like people like getting mail. So, you know, as old school as it is, people really like getting mail. So I've stuck with that. Yeah, that's.
Well, and I think, you know, Jen, we've talked about this. Everybody gets bombarded with emails.
Yep.
And you don't want it to just get thrown sent to the trash without even opening it.
I've honestly been telling agents, like, set them up, put somebody on a drip email campaign. Don't do it more than monthly. Maybe it's just quarterly even, and then pretend you never did it and do all of the other prospecting items like it's not happening. Because with cybersecurity, email accounts are getting so much stricter on what's getting in the inbox versus what goes straight into spam, and you can't control it. Whatever CRM you're using can't control it. It's on the recipient's end. So set it up, use it. It's a tool, but I keep telling agents, pretend you didn't do it and call, text, social media message, and send mailers.
Yeah, I completely agree. So another thing that I've used too is networking. I'm really, really big on networking. So I did one, there's a ton of real estate groups on Facebook. One of them that I did had an idea for, it's called Unity in the Community. It's basically like putting your name out there and uniting yourself for the community. So before I was a realtor, I did a lot of volunteer work to begin with. So I ordered these mailers, and it is, door hangers, I'm sorry. And it was for the food pantry in my town. So it's just Unity in the Community. And on the back, it just said like what items we're looking for. And I had a picture of my business card. So we walked the neighborhood. I got my name out there as a realtor. I was able to collect a lot of food for the food pantry. I made some really great contacts. I met some neighbors that I didn't know that I had. And then I send them cards every holidays. None of that really turned into a sale, but it was just a connection, and that works for me. So. And
you've been doing it about a year, so it might.
Right. Yeah.
It didn't turn into a sale yet, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. So it wasn't an instantaneous sale. But a lot of people, some of them call me. One of the neighbors regularly calls me and asks me about homes that are coming on the market in her neighborhood. So she when she thinks realtor, she thinks of me.
Yeah,
so,
and that's the goal. Yeah, that's the goal. Julia, where did you order those door hangers from?
Vistaprint. And then another networking that I do is a program called Art Goes to School. It's just at a local art education center here. I became a member before I even became a realtor, not knowing that all of the other members were doctors' wives. So now they all want me to be on the board, and they're all calling, asking real estate questions. So the more organizations and the more time that you put into the community, you know, the more you'll get out of it. So that it's a really cool thing. I love volunteering. So another networking is just with other agents in your office. Being here all the time, which, you know, all the time. I've had a chance to build a lot of relationships with other agents. I've shown homes for other agents while they've been on vacation. I've done their open houses. I help them with their social media. If they have a tech question and I'm here, They ask me. We joke that I can't get any work done when I'm actually here because I'm helping everybody else, but that's okay. So one of the agents was actually out of the country, and she asked if I could manage one of her her listings and her clients while she was gone, because she didn't know what her cell service was going to be. So she was selling her uncle's home, but gave him my phone number just in case he found something he wanted to look at. So he sent me a text and we went to look at a property, and she didn't expect anything to come of it. Well, he fell in love with it and we had to write an offer. And she's in Paradise. She literally has no cell phone service. And I'm calling Melissa like, he wants this property so bad. It's multiple offer. What do we do? So we ended up going under contract. We got the deal. And when she got back, she's like, we might as well just split the commission. So I wrote the contract. I got him under agreement, and she handled the rest, and we split it. So just being there for other agents, when they're in and they're saying, oh my gosh, I'm going on vacation, I don't know what to do, and they look up and they see that you're there and you're working, it really says a lot for you. That same agent actually about a month ago had a listing go on the market, and she had 3 buyers just call off the sign, but she wasn't able to do showings and already had an offer. So she knew she was going to have to get it shown. So she asked me to do it. So that was the same day that I did my Frosty Jeep post. So the buyers that I met with didn't actually like the home. It wasn't for them, but they wanted to go see others and they didn't have an agent. So within 24 hours, I showed the 3 buyers 17 different properties. It was a busy 24 hours. One of them actually fell in love with a house. She is a doctor at a local hospital and is not only buying this house, but plans on buying numerous investment properties in the future. So obviously giving the original agent a referral fee, but it's all about networking and never saying no, and until my business is built up enough that I can say no and hand it off to other people and be like, hey, do you want to take care of this? But until then, I'm not going to say no, and I'm not, just always working and always putting myself out there. So.
Any questions, guys? She talked a lot about social media and then has kind of gone through open houses, mailers, her CRM, and how she's organizing things. Any questions that you guys have on what she just kind of revealed there? Okay, go ahead and wrap it up.
Okay, so I will tell you that at the beginning of November, I was feeling really discouraged. I had done 47 open houses in 6 months, and I didn't really have anything going on. And I actually considered getting a part-time job to get through the holidays. But I still continued to come in the office. I still continued to work my cards, my mailers, my pop-bys, all of that, and following up on leads. And the minute that I accepted a part-time job, I had 3 homes go under contract in 3 weeks. And it was...
She quit the part-time job in like a week and a half.
I was there for a month, but it became too much. So when you feel discouraged, like I was there, I think we all get there at some point. So just keep going, because I now have 3 under contract and 1 settling today, all from a Facebook post. So yeah.
Yep. And I would just piggyback on that. Like use your support system, guys. Like please, when you are feeling that way, talk to your director of career development, talk to your office leader, talk to the people that you're in huddles with or that you collaborate with, and even ask them to hold you accountable. Say like, hey, here's my goal. Here's how much prospecting I want to do this week. Please hold me accountable and I'll do the same for you, and lean on each other to continue to motivate you. Julia felt down. She got discouraged. She kept going and the results are showing. So it definitely paid off. This is a business where like you're your own boss. So the awesome thing about that is you can put as much as you want into this and you're going to get the reward of that, and you're going to see those opportunities. And when you're feeling discouraged, there's only one person to look at when it's not going the way you want to. So lean on your office leader and your director of career development and your support system who wants to see you succeed, and those other agents in your office, and just keep going, because it will come full circle for all of you.
It was funny because Melissa told me, you're going to regret getting that part-time job. Don't do it. Just keep doing what you're doing. And I was like, but I need something. And I did it. And she was right, because within 3 weeks, 2 resale, and then one's a massive new construction that actually won't go under, won't settle until July, but it's still under way now.
It's gonna be there, so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So.
Well, congrats, Julia, for the
you.
career that you're continuing to build and for really being determined and persistent in what you're doing. I did record this, guys. I'm going to, as soon as it converts, I will upload it on YouTube. It'll be on Team Home Sale, and I will post the recording on all of your Accelerate groups so you can get to it. You can always go back and rewatch it if you want to. If you have any recommendations on who should do the next one, please let us know. One other thing, I'm going to shortly, hopefully within the next day or so, be sending out the next expert panel. For now, save the date. It is going to be on Thursday, February 6th at 10 o'clock. It'll be via Zoom video, and the topic will be on handling objections. I'm just working on the 3rd panelist, so that'll go out shortly, but February 6th at 10 if you want to save that in your calendars. All right. Have a great day, guys.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Jen.
Thanks, Melissa. Thanks, Julia.